Hey everyone, welcome back to CodeMaster. In today's video, we're going to explore how to declare variables in Go. Whether you're new to Go or just need a refresher, understanding variable declarations is essential to writing clean, efficient code. I'll walk you through several types of variable declarations, explain when to use each, and throw in some pro tips to boost your coding skills. Also, do pause the video and you can make note of all the points. Let's dive in. Alright, on right side I will write down some points that could help you to make and remember the things. So let's start with the most straightforward method, using the var keyword with an explicit type. Declaring var a as int. Declaring var b as string. Here we're declaring two variables. A is of type int, and b is of type string. In Go, you need to specify the type when using the var keyword, unless you're using type inference, which we'll get to in a second. So question is that, why explicit types? Explicitly declaring the type can be useful for clarity, especially when the value isn't immediately obvious. It also helps avoid bugs, because Go won't automatically convert types like some other languages. Next, let's look at implicit type inference. You can declare variables without specifying their type, and Go will automatically infer the type based on the value assigned. Let's look at the example now. Var c equals 42, var d equals go. In this example, we don't mention the types explicitly, but Go knows that c is an int that is 42 and d is a string that is string go. String in Go means the word or sentence it may be meaningful or not. This is a great way to make your code more concise, especially when the type is obvious. Note one thing about type safety in Go is, even though Go can infer types, it's still a statically typed language. This means once a variable's type is determined, it can't change. For example, you can't assign a string to C later on because it's already determined to be an int. Now, here's one of the most convenient ways to declare variables in Go, using the := operator. This is a shorthand method that allows you to declare and initialize a variable in one step. This form is commonly used inside functions where you want to quickly declare variables without writing var. For best practice, keep in mind when to use : operator. While this shorthand is convenient, it can only be used inside functions. Outside of functions, in the global scope, you'll need to stick with the var keyword. So let's take an example package main import fmt func main, a equals 10, b equals CodeMaster. Notice that : operator is used inside the main function. If you try using it outside a function like this, b equals 20, it won't work in Go, and even if it did, it would make the code harder to read and maintain. Always keep readability and maintainability in mind. Now let's see how Go handles multiple variable declarations. Several variables at once, either with or without initializing them. Let var x, y, z as int. In the first line, we declared 3 integers without initializing them. In the second line, we initialized p with 10 and q with go. Finally, the shorthand equals is used to declare and initialize multiple variables in one step. This keeps your code neat, especially when dealing with multiple variables at once. Go also allows you to group variable declarations using parentheses. This is especially useful when you're dealing with several variables of different types. Let var in bracket I int j string k int equals 25, l equals Golang. Grouping related variables together not only keeps your code organized, but also makes it easier to read. Tip: organize related variables. Think of scenarios like student and teacher data. For students, variables like marks, roll number, and age would be grouped together, while for teachers, you'd have salary, subject, and experience. Grouping variables by context can make your code more structured and logical. And teacher's parameter in another bracket may you understood this. If not, please go back and listen one more time. I know my students are clever. Now let's move on next type. Finally, let's talk about constants. Unlike variables, constants can't change once they are declared, and they must be initialized right away. You can declare a constant using the const keyword. It is as simple as variable declaration. Let const pi equals 3.1416. This actually value of pi that is mathematical constant, which was discovered by Archimedes. Let it be, constants are great for values that don't change, like mathematical constants, configuration settings, or anything else that should remain fixed throughout your program. Let's see some more values which we can keep as constant, like hours in day equals 24, total seats equal 100, or max seats equal 100, etc. For best practice, keep in mind, constants versus variables. Constants help prevent accidental modification of values. If you declare something as a constant, Go will give you an error if you try to change it later. So always use const for values that you know won't change. So those are the various ways to declare variables in Go. We started with the standard var declaration with explicit types. Then we saw how Go infers types with the var keyword and the shorthand. We explored multiple and grouped declarations to keep your code clean. And finally, we talked about constants. Understanding how and when to use each method will make your code more efficient and easier to manage. As you practice, you'll get a feel for which style works best in different situations. Understanding these different methods will help you write cleaner and more efficient code. With practice, you'll know which style to use depending on the context. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to CodeMaster. Drop a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics. I'm here to help you on your Go programming journey. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coding. Let me know if you need